I think certainly safe to say this will be one of the biggest memorial services in the state. Covering Arizona politics, I think of Charlie Kirk as one of the top maybe three or four most influential political figures in Arizona, period. More powerful than many of the elected officials I cover, more powerful than any one donor or business person. I mean, he's someone who could shift political winds with a single tweet. And I think his funeral arrangements reflect that. As you mentioned, it'll be hosted at State Farm Stadium, home to our Arizona Cardinals. That's a stadium that can hold 73,000 people, with more overflow planned in a nearby stadium. So, I think that just reflects the influence that he wielded in Donald Trump's orbit.
Yeah, I mean, the logistics seem like they are going to be very difficult. We know security is going to be super tight. What other preps are being done, though, to handle, of course, the president and many members of the cabinet who are going to be attending?
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, security is a huge concern. We are still piecing together information on that front. We understand it'll be a cooperation between federal, state, local officials, looking at measures like counter snipers, to prevent an incident like the one that we saw lead to Kirk's killing. Some other things, obviously, for a presidential visit, we're always expecting roads to be shut down, heightened security, and of course, Kirk's body was transported back to Phoenix from Salt Lake City, and it was Vice President JD Vance who did that personally on Air Force Two. Again, just a sign of what a power broker he was in the White House.
The message will be key for this country if we have any hope of coming together in the aftermath. Donald Trump, the president, sat down on Fox and Friends and said all political violence is from the far left. JD Vance hosted the Charlie Kirk show, I believe it was Monday, and said political violence. He too blamed it on the left and said there is no both sides. What are you hearing there in Arizona in the aftermath of Kirk's assassination? What do you expect from a message?
Yeah, I think what we're hearing in Arizona mirrors what we're seeing nationwide. From the president, I would say, and based on these funeral arrangements, it's just a sign that Donald Trump and those around him are standing firmly behind Charlie Kirk's legacy. Now, that's not a surprise. Of course, they were friends and allies, but it comes at a time when, on both the left and right, I think we're seeing a question of how to remember him. On the left, we've seen infighting among Democrats, some people saying progressives were overly dismissive of Charlie Kirk's death. And then on the other hand, those accusing others in the party of lionizing him. And on the right, we've seen similar debates over, for example, whether to install a statue of Charlie Kirk at the U.S. Capitol. Some of Trump's most staunch supporters have backed that, but we haven't seen buy-in from more moderate members of the party. So I think this funeral is just going to be one more place where those sorts of questions are going to be litigated. But from the president's team, certainly we're seeing unwavering support.
I think it's interesting. I noted, anyway, the name of the website that they set up for this memorial event called fightforcharlie.com. And we're going to hear from Erica Kirk, his widow, at that memorial service. And I'm just wondering, are you hearing any talk about who picks up the mantle? Could it be his wife? And it'll be interesting to hear what she has to say at that service.
Absolutely. I think, that's the $1 million question going forward. Yeah, I've heard Erica Kirk's name. I've also heard names like Tucker Carlson, other people speaking at his funeral. Certainly there are some Arizona players who might be involved, but it's hard to think of someone with the same sort of national charisma and profile as Erica Kirk, Tucker Carlson, even Donald Trump Jr. So that's something we'll be watching in the weeks and months ahead.